Hey, what's going on, everybody? Just another walk on the trail. Big surprise. And I feel like I say that a lot, so big surprise again. Anyway, it is a beautiful day. We had a little post-tropical storm fly by here overnight, drop some rain, and out today, sun's shining. It's nice and warm. Great day for the end of August. I wanted to make a video today, kind of, talking about how you can sort of keep yourself from falling down a little rabbit hole, getting into a little bit of a trap of expending too much energy on people. And I think that a lot of times what'll happen is we as vegans, we as animal rights activists, we will burn out. We'll use a lot of our energy to maybe reply or keep a conversation going with somebody who really probably isn't deserving of energy, but we think, hey, well, we can't give up on this, because it'll, we got to fight for the animals, and I get that. But I think there are some people who are just there to drain you, or even if they are kind of picking things up, still might not be the best key audience or key target. And that's obviously something you have to make up your mind about yourself. But anyway, just kind of wanted to get into a couple little things here to go along with that. So normally I would have running as a way to kind of balance out the mental stresses of, just everything. There's a lot of things going on in life. Full-time job, hectic at times. And then of course there's just everything that goes on in life from being a vegan, which is not a big deal. I'm not trying to make it sound like it's hard or anything like that, because it isn't. But I put myself out there on various social medias. I have conversations with people trying to, let them know about ways they can reduce suffering in the world and ways they can make changes to help the animals and help the planet. And that can be quite draining. It can be quite fatiguing. And obviously I'm not playing victim here. The animals are the real victims. But anybody who has been passionate about something and puts their free time into it can understand that it can be quite a drain on resources. And normally I would have running to kind of act as my meditation, act as my way of balancing that out. But since the foot injury, it haven't been able to do that. So I've had to find new ways to cope, new ways to sort of relax. And I have to say, I haven't quite found that balance yet, but that's okay. The foot is on the mend. I mean, I could probably start running again now. I do feel like there's very, very minimal pain at all, but I want to take it easy. I want to play it safe. I don't want this to be an even longer term injury than the few weeks it's been so far. But it's going in the right direction, that's for sure. So anyway, one of the things obviously that kind of had me down a little bit over this last week or so is, with these Amazon fires and stuff. And actually I'm going to cut into the woods off the main trail here just to help avoid any unnecessary wind. But yeah, so with the Amazon fires and stuff, obviously, putting that out there and explaining to people what the various reasons, what the various driving factors in deforestation and environmental devastation are, being animal agriculture and stuff. It's been kind of a mixed response to that. I've gotten some good responses to that, some non-vegan friends and family who have been very supportive of that message, and maybe they aren't actually doing anything right away to change their actions, and so maybe it's just lip service, and maybe it's just a way to not alienate themselves or out themselves in front of the vegan, which is interesting because it used to be the other way around where nobody really gave a shit what I thought. But so progress maybe, but then I've had a couple of non-vegan friends post some stuff about it, and things like posting articles about the environmental factors, and saying things like, hey, this really makes you think, and blah blah blah, and posting things from a non-vegan perspective to other non-vegans to at least get them thinking about it. And I think that's so encouraging. It's one of those things that's just like, wow, there are people that actually do care about this enough to start their own conversations about it, which I think says a lot about their character and says a lot about who they are and the kind of world they want to live in and leave for their kids, I'm just going to turn around. I don't want to go all the way down through there because I know there's a wet spot with some long grass, so I'm just going to turn around. But yeah, and then you see people commenting on posts like that, like one of my friends asked in a Facebook post, hey, I'm not vegan, blah, 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 but here's the thing and here's the deal. So if you knew for a fact that, you were causing essentially the apocalypse or whatever, would you give up meat as a way to, ensure that we had a planet and that our kids would survive and all that stuff? And it's amazing how many people say no. How many people are like, nah, screw that. I just like my meat too much, or I like my steak and my burger, and now, and just kind of like making light of it, even though some of those people have kids or work directly with kids. And I guess that really helps draw the line in the sand, though, doesn't it? That really lets you know, okay, who of these people are actually the people you want in your life, or even would even consider spending any energy on. Because if someone's response to, would you make this change so that your kids can live out their lifespan, and your response is no, I like burgers too much, again, that says a lot about your character, doesn't it? I mean, that basically proves to everybody, in case there was any doubt, that like you're a piece of shit. Like, that is horrible. That is just terrible. So anyway, I guess if there's any point, it's that we need to recognize when these things happen and understand that we're not going to change everybody's minds. We're not going to get through to most people, because there are a lot of terrible people in the world. And I think that there's goodness in everyone as well. But there are people who are probably lost causes, or that at least don't deserve or shouldn't get the bulk of your attention and energy, because there are others who maybe would be more receptive to making a small change in their life so that other future generations could survive. And that's a trap that I've fallen into before, definitely, where someone will make a comment, maybe someone's just trolling me, maybe someone is just ignorant and they're making a dumbass comment out of ignorance, but I would get on board with that, and I would just keep it going, and thinking surely I'll get through to this person. And that really is just flawed logic. And so you need to recognize that sometimes, and I've accepted it, that I'm not going to get through to everybody. So definitely having a little bit more restraint in the kinds of conversations and people I engage with has been helpful for me to sort of balance out, like, the energy that I'm putting out and the response that I'm getting. It's not like I'm cherry picking, but you also need to save something for yourself, And if you want to create the most positive change in the world, it does make sense to start with the easier targets, does it not? If you can inspire one person to go vegan, and then they can inspire one person to go vegan, and so on, and we start getting into those exponential sort of changes that can happen in the world, we need to get that domino effect going as quickly as possible. We can't be waiting for this one uncle or this one person we were great friends with since high school and hoping that they're going to suddenly change, because there's a good chance they won't, as unfortunate as it sounds. And I mean, maybe they will, I think I look back and I think, yeah, I was definitely a long shot. I'm not surprised that I'm vegan today, because obviously it makes sense to me now. But the headspace I was in 6 years ago was definitely not one where I was thinking about animals over taste buds. So yeah, there's potential for anybody, that's for sure. But you've got to think about what kind of investment are you willing to make, knowing that you only have a finite amount of energy and time that you can put into this. So do you waste it on someone that's never going to change, or is at least looking pretty unlikely like they're ever going to change? It doesn't mean you have to cut them out completely, and it doesn't mean that you can't, like, revisit conversations with them periodically, but does it make sense to make them your sole investment, if you will? Probably not. So I've definitely been working on that. I've been wanting to just make sure that I don't burn myself out, and that I take time for myself, whether it's just to get out here in the forest. Like, I have this that I can come to on my lunch breaks, and I need this. I could sit in my office at lunch, and I could go on Facebook, or I could go on YouTube, and I could have arguments with people, or try my damnedest to get them to understand and respect veganism. But if I don't take these times for myself to just chill and regroup, yeah, I'm not helping anybody. So anyway, that's just kind of my thoughts on that. Kudos to the non-vegans out there who are at least keeping the conversation going, and are at least, like, aware enough to recognize that we all do have some personal accountability and responsibility. And hopefully you'll keep these conversations going. You will continue to make positive changes. And while I'll never advocate for reducitarianism or whatever, I mean, obviously we have to start somewhere. My wish is that you would just say enough is enough, and that you recognize you can do this, and that you make an overnight change. But if you don't, kudos to you for not being a complete douche who just bashes on veganism, and which really, it just makes a mockery of the suffering of trillions of animals. So anyway, that's all I got to say about that. That was almost like a little Forrest Gump line there, wasn't it? So just gonna make my way through the woods here, coming down this hill. It doesn't really look like it's all that steep, but gotta watch my footing a little bit, some roots and stuff. And I'm also getting like little spider webs on me and stuff. So all right, I'm gonna go. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace, guys.